Hello, this video is designed to provide you with an overview of the Islamic Studies program at ACS. Islamic education is required for all Emirati students in grades 1 through 12 and is offered in English or Arabic. This program of study culminates in an external exam in the student's senior year. At the end of grade 12, students sit for the ministry exam. This exam is designed by ACS teachers and is submitted for approval to the Ministry of Education. ADIC, the Abu Dhabi Department of Education and Knowledge, schedules this exam in April or May of each year. The exam is scored by our teachers and those scores are submitted to ADIC. This exam is one of the requirements for the UAE high school equivalency. This equivalency allows students to attend universities in the Gulf countries and is required for those who wish to seek employment in any UAE government positions. At ACS, we acknowledge the cultural importance of this curriculum and follow all ministry requirements. The Ministry of Education has provided guidance for schools in the UAE on their vision for the role of Islamic studies. It is as follows. The Islamic education aims to prepare the student to actively participate in building the society, to keep pace with global changes, and to be consciously open to other cultures. It also provides students with learning experiences that facilitate their acquisition of knowledge, skills, trends, and values to help them become a good citizen involved in the development of their own community. Islam remains the mainstay of raising a generation of faithful students who have basic knowledge of their religion and the ability to apply it in their lives. Following this point of view, the standards of Islamic education from the ministry provide a framework that aims to bridge the gap between faith and work. This framework also provides students with the cognitive skills necessary to solve difficulties, resist challenges, resolve problems, and contribute positively to society. Standards within the framework focus on 6 learning areas: divine revelation, creed, the values and morals of Islam, Islamic rulings and purposes, the biography of the Prophet, and characters, identity, and issues of the age. Courses at ACS highlight the literary, artistic, legal, philosophical, and scientific traditions of Islamic civilization and focus on learning and understanding lessons from the surahs and ayahs in the Quran and from the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad. The general framework for the Islamic education curriculum standards developed in 2014 is based on the following. Constitution of the United Arab Emirates, which states that Islam is the official religion of the state and that Islamic Sharia law is the main source of legislation. Heritage and history of the state as being part of the Arab Islamic heritage, taking into account the specialty of the state's environment. The educational policy of the United Arab Emirates, which is based on the Islamic religion as being the religion of the state and the creed that everyone believes in, and the direction for the education providers to develop new forms of education that keep pace with the current developments in the field of education and improve its level in terms of efficiency and effectiveness to achieve greater suitability and response to society's renewed needs. And finally, the strategic plan of the Ministry of Education, which includes objectives related to the development of a high-quality curriculum that prepares students for society.
Prior to this year, Islamic Studies was offered in the elementary school once a week and in middle school and high school twice a week. This year, we have shifted to online learning and include both synchronous and asynchronous opportunities for students. We use the Ministry of Education books. There are 6 units at each grade. These are developed to support the textbooks and also include instructional activities such as presentations, projects, and animated stories.
Mom, why should we always say Bismillah?
Because when you say Bismillah, Allah is with you and put barakah in all what you do.
Bismillah, 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 au nom d'Allah. Bismillah, Bismillah, in the name of Allah.
our newly revised online courses, we utilize engaging learning tools like Pictochart, Padlet, Quizlet, Kahoot, Loom, Quran Passport, and many others. At the beginning of the week, teachers provide an explanation and overview of the learning. In elementary school, this includes a video on Seesaw with detailed instructions about each component of the lesson that students will be required to do. In middle school and high school, this will be delivered in Google Classroom.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, grade 2. As you all know, last week we started learning Surah Al-Asr. This is lesson number 2 in our book, and it's a very short surah but a very powerful surah of Al-Quran. It has only 3 ayat, and it is surah number 103 in the Holy Quran. Have you memorized this short surah? If you haven't memorized it yet, try to memorize by this week. Do you remember the theme of this surah? Yes, you are right. This surah speaks about time. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us the importance of time. And then in this surah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentions the believers and the non-believers, the winners and the losers. And do you know who are the winners on the day of judgment? They are the people who do good deeds. And what type of good deeds we can do to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy? And some of them are listed here, as you can see on your screen. We should be nice to our neighbors. We should give a genuine smile to other people. We should always be kind to animals. And we should say Assalamu alaikum whenever we are meeting people. We should always keep in touch with our family members. If anybody is sick, we should visit the sick people, and we should remove harmful things from the ways. And the most important thing is that we should always be nice to our parents. And there are many other things that we can make to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we can do to make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala happy. As you all got your Islamic books, there are some activities that you need to complete in your book. So here's the first activity. I classify the following deeds as good or bad according to the following table. So there are the deeds, and then you need to describe them as good or bad deeds.
ورحمة الله وبركاته. كيف حالكم؟ أتمنى أن تكونوا بصحة جيدة. سنكمل اليوم درس الصدق طريق إلى الجنة. لنتذكر سوياً ما هو رقب الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم. لنفكر قليلاً. ممتازين. كان لقب الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم الصادق الأمين. كان يقول الصدق دائماً ولا يكذب. الصادق يحبه الله ويدخل الجنة. أريد منكم أن تفتحوا كتاب الطالب صفحة 28 وتفكروا بالإجابة المناسبة التي نضعها في هذا المربع. الصادق يحبه من؟ الكاذب لا يحبه من؟ الصادق يدخل الجنة. الكاذب لا يدخل الجنة. لنفكر ما الكلمة المناسبة التي يجب أن نضعها في هذا المربع؟
Other highlights of our program include public exhibitions of learning and field trips. In 2019-20, we hosted our first Islamic exhibition. Students from all across the school visited the display space and were able to learn more about the history of Islam through interactive displays of students' work. As a part of our program at ACS, we offer extracurricular opportunities such as field trips to important cultural and religious sites. In the past, these were included the Louvre, Qasr Husn, and the Grand Mosque. Members of the ACS community have the opportunity to take part in an Umrah trip every other year. Our staff takes dozens of families on this journey to the holy sites for a short pilgrimage. Charity and service is an important component of life at ACS as well as one of the 5 pillars of Islam. Students showcase their compassion during the holy month of Ramadan and provide meals for workers. During Ramadan, we also provide learning experiences for students and staff all over campus in assemblies and through presentations on all of the large digital screens across campus.
رمضان مبارك كل عام وانتم بخير
رمضان كريم
رمضان مبارك ACS
رمضان مبارك
سنة وأنتم بخير يا ACS والرمضان سعيد
Islamic Studies at ACS is deeply embedded in the vision and mission of the school. This program truly positions students to shape their future through learning, service, and global citizenship.
We hope that you have found this information useful. Please do not hesitate to contact us if you have any additional questions. Thank you.